Hi there, I'm Namisha Patel Owen, and you're listening to Live Your True Self, episode number 66. After 18 years doing corporate, in 2018 it became about doing me and doing what I love. It wasn't that long ago that I too felt stuck, lost, and asking myself, who am I anyway, and what's my purpose? Full of self-doubt, fear of failure, and confusion. Fast forward to this moment and you'll see a version of me that's true to myself, calm, confident and clearer than ever before, inspired by Krishna's words in the Bhagavad Gita, one must deliver himself with the help of the mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. So perspective is everything, and no matter where you find yourself on your spiritual journey, allow me to guide you to drop out of your head the busyness in your mind and drop into your heart, a sacred space that holds your beautiful soul so that you too can awaken your true self and live life more meaningfully in this moment. Take a deep breath and listen on in. Hello, my lovely. How are you? I am super grateful for you being here today. It's so good to be back. Thank you for sticking with me while I've been on holiday, which I'll share a little bit about as it relates to today's topic. But I just wanted to say I am so grateful for you. I hope you found the past two most valued episodes helpful. They were good ones, right? Embracing emotions and your 5-minute confidence boost. Those are definitely ones to revisit when you need a lift, no matter where you find yourself. So I am grateful to be back, and I have to say, I missed you. I missed our conversations, and you may not know it, but when I'm recording these podcasts, whilst I'm sitting at my desk in my study at home, talking in a microphone, I'm imagining we're having a real life conversation, and not just any ordinary conversation. Inspiring conversations that once we've had them, we've shifted the way we look at things. Heartfelt conversations that change who we become, that helps us grow no matter where we find ourselves. So I am so pleased for you being here. Thank you for being a part of these inspiring conversations. I really do hope you find them just as valuable. They certainly mean the world to me. And let me just say, let me take this opportunity to share something with you whilst I've been away, which I'm super excited about. I am a teacher on the Insight Timer app. It's a meditation app available on Apple, and it's a place where you can dive into all sorts of meditations on all sorts of topics, and lots of well-being courses and lives and yoga, and just full of so much goodness. Anyway, I have been approved as a teacher, so I'm super excited about that, and I'd love for us to continue our conversation there. So if you are on Insight Timer, then literally you will know what to do. But if you're not, just sign up for the app. Download the app and then find me, Namisha Patel Owen, or you can go to www.insighttimer.com/Namisha.Patel Owen, and I'll pop that link in the show notes so you have it. But go find me there and let's have the conversation there too. I'm literally just working up the plans for that and what I'll be doing. So super excited. But today we're diving into the value of resourcefulness and being resourceful. And incidentally, that's exactly what I'm doing with Insight Timer. This is me being resourceful and trying out new things. And more and more I have realized that resourcefulness is a big part of who I am and is definitely an inherent quality that comes from both my parents and also like generally the Indian culture and my upbringing and background. And I particularly remember when I was in India last year and I experienced resourcefulness firsthand, where resources were scarce or resources fail and resourcefulness steps in. And seeing people adopt this way of being is just so inspiring. And it wasn't about cutting corners. It was about being creative and being a problem solver and doing whatever it takes to get by and, create a livelihood and pursue dreams. And like I saw things, which just blew my mind. And it's so good. So what is resourcefulness? Here's the definition I found that resonated with me. Resourcefulness is a mindset and a skill that can be developed and nurtured. It's about having the mental agility to adapt to changing circumstances and the determination to find a way forward regardless of obstacles or constraints. Right? So it's just so much goodness. It's all about a growth mindset and all about moving forward no matter what. And resourceful means making the most of what you have, right? Leveraging the skills that already exist in, say, your business or your career or your work instead of hiring them out. So it's just like literally about thinking creatively and staying flexible and open and using what's at hand to achieve what you really want. And let me share the inspiration behind this episode topic from a couple of stories from our recent holiday to Antalya in Turkey. And they're simple stories, but for me, when I was preparing for this podcast, they really just hit home in terms of who I am, but also like the value of resourcefulness. So picture this, a beautiful, all-inclusive resort by the beach with a stunning pool. This is where we found ourselves, which was just so amazing. And I'm so grateful. The hotel had a policy about reserving sun lounges. And it is a thing, and you would have experienced this. But here, it was a little bit different. Between 8:30 and 9 a.m. daily, the hotel staff would walk around poolside and remove towels from any occupied sun lounges that had been reserved but weren't being used at the time. So they would kind of like walk by and just check in with anyone that was sort of close by. And if no one really sort of claimed them, they literally just took the towel, and if it was the hotel's towel, they collected them. And if it was their own sort of personal belongings, which obviously people did leave, then they literally just sort of gathered it together and left it on a pile at the same place so that their belongings were there, but the sun lounger was then freed up. So there was no towel or belongings placed on them. And the kids and I affectionately named them the towel takers. And we got caught out the first day and with this, where our towels were taken. And to be fair, we grabbed 3 sun loungers, and it wasn't that early. I think it was about 8 o'clock, or maybe it was about 8 o'clock. And then went to breakfast and returned only to find that our towels had been removed and like our belongings had been placed, as I said. And I had to go to reception to retrieve them, a little bit tail between the legs. But what did I do the next day? I got resourceful. Every day I woke up earlier than Steve and the kids, around 7ish, and I was awake anyway because it was like beautiful sunlight blaring through. And I kind of got myself ready and I headed down to the pool. And I set up our towels, grabbed our sun loungers, and then spent the next 60 to 90 minutes practicing my morning meditation and breath work. The sun was rising, the water was calm, and we had our prime spot secured. And not only did this ensure that we had our sun loungers to enjoy at a safe spot for the kids, but it also gave me a peaceful and intentional start to the day. Another experience was dealing with delayed flights, where again we had to get resourceful. So we've all been stuck there, right? Stuck in an airport with no idea when we'll finally get to leave or finally get to kind of get our way home. But for us, our departure and return flights were delayed for several hours, right? It was between 2 and 3 hours. And instead of getting frustrated, we got resourceful. We found a spot in a very, very busy terminal. We set up a sort of a little base for ourselves with our bags, and we took turns exploring for food and, wandering around duty free, and more importantly, going to the toilet. And we worked together to keep each other's spirits high by staying calm and creative. We played cards, and generally just like tried to stay together. And we kind of turned a sort of stressful situation, because both flights were early starts, so we were already sort of naturally tired, and the body clock was a little bit off and tummies were a little bit unsettled. But we ended up turning a stressful situation into, I would say, a pleasant time, but just kind of navigated through it. And so that was another story of tapping into resourcefulness. And finally, there was one day when we were out in Turkey when we had a day out exploring, and we needed some euros since we'd only come out with a credit card and about £50 in cash. And there were some local markets and lots of goodies, and we wanted to buy a few things, and the kids wanted some stuff, but we couldn't find a cash machine anywhere. And initially, got a little bit frustrated and not sure what we would do. But we kind of figured out that it was something that we wanted. And it was 43 degrees. It was so hot. And the kids were hot and bothered and getting restless. But as I say, particularly Steve and I, probably less so the kids, but Steve and I got resourceful. And I ended up asking everyone I could who spoke English where an ATM machine was, and followed their directions. And I say ATM because obviously I was saying cash machine first, and they would just kind of look at me a little bit puzzled, and then I realised, ATMs, okay. So it's like I learned along the way. So literally anyone I saw that I could ask for, like shop owners and market stall owners and whatever, I was just like constantly, do you know where an ATM is? Do you know where an ATM is? And they would sort of like just point and direct, and it was very, very loose directions. But anyway, after a bit of searching and a bit of belief, we finally found one. And I kid you not, you would never have found it. It was just like this little cubby hole in and amongst some cobbled streets, and set sort of way deep into the harbour, which is where we were. Anyway, we got the euros, and we even managed to continue the resourcefulness and catch this local train, which was part of the harbour and part of the experience of being in the harbour. But it basically took us from where we were in the harbour back to the bus station. So the kids didn't have to walk for another 15 minutes or so in the crazy heat. A wise person once said, resourcefulness is the skill of seeing beyond the immediate and finding creative solutions where others see only barriers. When I was preparing for this episode, I recalled so many stories of resourcefulness that I've personally experienced and have heard about from clients and colleagues. And for me particularly, so many stem from leaving corporate, starting my business, overcoming prolonged sickness, childbirth, parenting. Like, oh my God, the list is so long. And I know that you will have so many stories of resourcefulness too, if you kind of just pause and really allow yourself to bring them to life and see how perhaps once a situation where was perceived with obstacle or setback then turned into something which allowed you to move forward. But today I wanted to share these recent holiday experiences, albeit a little bit trivial perhaps, as they demonstrate the value of resourcefulness no matter where you find yourself, and what it can create and how it can make you feel when you tap into that. And it is something that we all have. And remember what I said earlier, it is something that can be created and nurtured. And it's about staying calm under pressure or under changing circumstances and using our surroundings creatively and finding solutions even when things don't go as planned or as expected, or unexpected, which is what I said already. Anyway, as a high achiever and as high achievers, I've learnt to realise that resourcefulness is a game changer for both personal and professional growth. And it allows us to navigate challenges with, as I say, creativity and calm, turning obstacles and perceived hardship into opportunities. So here's how I practice resourcefulness, which you can too. Number one, stay calm. When faced with a challenge, like literally your go-to thing is to take a deep breath. Just take a moment to pause and take a deep breath. And calmness and presence is the foundation of resourcefulness. Number two, be solution focused. Your brain will want to stay in the problem and dwell on and focus on what's going wrong or what's not right or what you don't have. But my invitation to you is to tell yourself, I can figure this out. And keep telling yourself that you can figure it out until you get into forward motion, until you get into action. Number three, think creatively. And when you're thinking, I can figure this out, thinking creatively will just come. And look at the situation from different angles. So no matter where you find yourself, look at the situation from different angles by asking yourself, what can I do differently? Right? What can I do differently? Number four, utilize others. Do not hesitate to reach out for help or advice or guidance. Sometimes a fresh perspective or guidance is all we need. Number five, embrace flexibility. Be open to changing plans, changing circumstances, pop-ups, unexpected events. Like, just be open to the flexibility, knowing that everything happens for a reason, right? You know that is one of my deep grained beliefs. Everything happens for a reason, and it's for a good reason, whatever it is that's happening to you. And so adopting flexibility often leads to discovering new and better solutions, or indeed opportunities. So that's how I practice resourcefulness. Stay calm, be solution focused, think creatively, utilize others, and embrace flexibility. And here's how I would invite you to think about resourcefulness. Resourcefulness isn't just about solving problems. As I said, it's a mindset, right? It is something that you can adopt and nurture from a place in your mind. It's about believing that every situation, every challenge has a solution, has an opportunity, even if it's not immediately obvious. And believe me, I know sometimes it is not obvious. It is not clear why something, bad, or a hardship or a setback or a failure or just something, that you don't want to happen. You just can't see the goodness in it. But I promise you, there is some goodness in there if you just choose to see it. And it might just be a little thing, but you have to choose to see it. And also, resourcefulness is about trusting your ability to adapt and thrive forward no matter your circumstances. So this is how I would invite you to think about resourcefulness. It's about finding a way forward, saying to yourself, I can figure this out, right? I can figure this out, and asking yourself, what can I do differently to move you towards what you want, right? And you heard some of the scenarios in my case about the towels, about the money, about the delays. And as I say, there are so many situations I'm sure you have experienced where you have tapped into this. But when you're in this elevated and resourceful mindset, guess what happens? You figure it out, right? You figure it out. Messy, sloppy, imperfect, impromptu, ad hoc. But you make progress towards what you want, whatever that is, big, small, towards your personal or professional or, day to day or more longer term aspirations, desires, goals. Like, no matter what it is, you make progress towards what you want. And that's what we're all striving for, right? So that is my offer for you today about resourcefulness. The next time you face a setback or obstacle or perceived hurdle, like, tune into your resourcefulness in the way that I have offered you. Tap into being the resourceful person that you are. Like, it's within you already. You just have to tap into it. Stay calm, get creative, embrace the challenge, be open to flexibility. And not only will you overcome it, but you'll also come out stronger and more confident, and just have this growth and insight which will just compound into fueling you forward in all areas. A wise monk said, resourcefulness is the spiritual practice of discovering the divine in every challenge, turning obstacles into pathways, and trusting that every limitation holds the seed of a greater opportunity. So let's put this into practice with a short guided meditation. Find a comfortable position, close your eyes if you can, and take a deep breath in. Hold it for a moment and then slowly exhale. Take a few more deep breaths here, allowing each inhale to fill you with calm and each exhale to release any tension or stress. Feel yourself becoming more relaxed with each breath. This is the start and the foundation to cultivate resourcefulness, a simple, intentional, deep breath. Now let me invite you to bring to mind a current challenge or obstacle you're facing. Picture it clearly in your mind. Notice any feelings or sensations associated with this challenge. And just know that it's totally okay to have these feelings. Now imagine a light glowing within you, representing your inner resourcefulness. Feel this light expanding within, filling your entire being, sending tingles all throughout your body. As it grows, feel a sense of calm and creativity filling you up. Know that your greatest resource that you have is your attention and focus. Visualize yourself directing your focus and energy towards this challenge. See how your attention transforms into a powerful force capable of producing your desired outcomes. And repeat to yourself silently or out loud, I am resourceful. My attention and focus is on what I want. I can figure this out. I can turn challenges into opportunities. I am resourceful. My attention and focus are on what I want. I can figure this out. I can turn challenges into opportunities. Let these affirmations resonate deeply within you. Feel the sensations behind the words and keep repeating them until you do. Now visualize yourself facing the challenge with renewed clarity and creativity, having tapped into your resourcefulness. See yourself exploring different angles thinking creatively, finding different solutions, moving forwards towards what you want. And imagine each solution, each shift, each action falling into place effortlessly as you stride towards your desired outcomes. And notice how you're being flexible and open to new ideas. See yourself adapting smoothly, making changes as needed, and embracing the journey with confidence and grace. And take this moment to feel that resourcefulness growing within you. Know that by focusing your attention and energy on what you want and figuring it out, you have the power to overcome any obstacle and turn challenges into opportunities. Slowly bring your awareness back to the present moment. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, open your eyes and feel the resourcefulness radiate. Notice the refreshed, empowered, and focused energy you have tapped into that's ready to tackle your challenges with the resourcefulness that you always have within. Know that resourcefulness is not about having the right answers, but about finding the right focus and energy in order to move towards what you want. Thank yourself for tapping into your resourcefulness, and take this with you throughout your day. And ask yourself, what resourceful action am I going to take today? Until next week, keep shining your light, and may you always live your true self. Namaste. Thank you for listening to another episode of Live Your True Self podcast. I would be super grateful if you would be kind enough to leave me a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. I really appreciate you, and this simple act helps me reach and inspire more high achievers like you, transform their mindset, navigate through change, and live their true selves. Thank you for your support and being part of our beautiful community.